the war is over means it's time to stop battling with the things that you can't change or stop. In other words, stop living in the past. Some may be fighting fights that have ended long time ago. And if you keep fighting those battles, you won't have any energy to fight the battles for the future. But we're fighting things that have already stopped. The war is over. And I'm not talking about a physical war. I'm talking about the war within. And most men that want to just cut it and be the best and succeed. Every man needs to hear that. But that war is over. When you had an understanding of Jesus and what he has done for you and I, and the love of a father, and a father to the fatherless, that war is over. If there are any men in this room this morning, and you have experienced a broken heart, and you were not allowed to express your emotions growing up as a young man, as a young male, and have got to the stage where you've intellectualized the event away, let me tell you this, eventually it'll affect your body. If you've just put reason to it, because that's what we mostly so we can understand it, we'll label it, and we'll put all these theories around it. If you do not deal with that, your body will eventually shut down. Then your thought life will not be able to move past when you feel that you can't view every situation from that experience. So you'll just, every single time something happens, good or bad, you're viewing it from the experience that you've never just gone forward with, and you become stuck. And then you may get into your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and there's so much unfinished and unresolved issues in your life, in my life, because there's no room left in your life to experience the new and the fresh. And so you start to leak. And this can be manifested in physically in your life, and it can be managed emotionally. That's why so many men are emotionally shut down. I work with them, I've helped them, I've served them, I've pastored them. And those reason things away. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, far out, you know. I've spoken to people who I know they're just lying to me, to my face, and I'm thinking to myself, when are you going to realize that I know that you're lying? But I'll listen to you, but I know you're lying. But when are you going to realize that you're telling me lies? But you know, some people may want to challenge that, but I'm just like, well, you're not going to listen to me if I challenge you on it, if I stop you right there. You're not going to listen. So you keep dribbling. But the fact of the matter is that you're better than that. So the war is over means it's time to stop battling with the things you cannot change or stop, or from the past. Stop living there. It's time to be unified in our bodies. Spirit, soul, and body has to come into alignment. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, Scripture tells us. But I want to encourage you, the waging war inside men and fathers is incredible. I know a young man in the space that I'm in. You don't need to know all the details, but I was sharing with some of the guys yesterday at the Strengths reunion, and prior to coming into, you'll never meet this guy, so that's fine. And obviously I'm not going to say any names, but there's this guy. He's about 24, lovely young man, great young man. Doesn't have a girlfriend or anything like that. I mean, a good-looking young guy. It's part of what I'm doing right now, and he said to me last year, 12 months straight, every single day he would go to work, and he said, today's the day that I'm going to commit suicide. Today's is the day I'm going to kill myself. I just hate my life or whatever. I don't know, nothing was traumatic was happening in his life. And this generation, I can't understand the language that they use, eh? It's just like, I was so embarrassed I wanted to kill myself. Don't talk around a mental health worker like that, because that actually means something. It actually carries weight. But you know, the way like, oh, you know, I was so embarrassed I just wanted to slice my wrist. And that language is actually not good. So anyway, he said for 12 months, every single day he would go to work, he'd be sitting at his desk and he'd be like, today I just want to kill myself. He said he'd drive home. He lives down south. and he'd be doing 100 clicks on the highway, and you look and he says, there's a tree. All I need to do is just turn my steering wheel a few degrees, and it hits the tree. And it's over, game over. I'm thinking like, far out. So me being me, I couldn't let this go. So I went and seen him afterwards. He was just sitting there randomly saying this stuff really loud. And the shocking thing about the space in the group that I'm in, no one addressed it. No one even thought, they laughed. See, I know who I am. Doesn't matter what space. I'm thinking, no, I'm not letting this slide. So I went and spoke to him. I put my hand on his shoulder, and I just said to him, hey, I'm sorry that you experienced that. I'm sorry you feel like that, but that's not right. Your life is worth more. Look at what you're about to do. You're about to be sworn in as a, and look at the work that you've done. And man, you're a great man, and your life is worth so much more. Don't give up. Don't think like that. You're going to get out there and help and serve people. You can't be thinking like that. Otherwise, something's not right here. You can't be serving as a frontline officer if you're feeling like that. So I just encouraged him, and man, he just said, you should have seen him like just rise. His whole countenance changed. His whole demeanor and posture changed. Because all I did was speak life into him. All I said to him was, God is for you, just in a different language. He's not against you. You will make it. You will overcome. And the most powerful spiritual encounter, listen to me, men, fathers, uncles, sons, and brothers this morning. The most powerful spiritual encounter you will ever have, listen to this will challenge you, is choice, is a decision. You can choose to love, or you can choose not to love. You can choose to pray, or you can choose not to pray. You can choose to forgive, or you can choose not to forgive. Men, I'm referring to you, and I'm referring to me. You can choose to give and sow financially, or you can choose to withhold. You can choose to come to church, or you can choose not to come to church. You can choose to be happy or not be happy. But either way, the most powerful spiritual encounter you will have is choice and decision. You make the decision. Today is the day of salvation. Today is the day that I choose to be happy. Today is the day that I choose to break through, or today's the day that it's over. I choose. You choose. That's our God-given right. What are you choosing today? Some men and fathers believe that their circumstances are more powerful than their inner world. So what do you see? What do you want to see? I know this for my life. That's all I can speak of. Is that I'm creating for the next generation, and in particular for my family, a generation of men and fathers. Or what I do right now is really, really important. Not in the future, someday over the rainbow, but what I'm doing right now. Good men and fathers have been waiting for God to create their future when God is actually waiting for us to create our future. Because the Bible says, in Him we live and move and have our being. In Him we live and move and have our being. What are you waiting for? A neon lights of a 10-step plan to this is what you need to do right now. I want to encourage you that we need to allowing what God has done on the inside of us rather than focusing on what we can't change on the outside. Bank on that. I'm not a betting man, but if you want to bet on something, bet on what He's already done in you. In Him we live and move and have our being. Just a few more things. Is that okay? Because we've got no church next week. Get it all out there, mate. And then next week, game over. Next week, Happy Father's Day. Right? So next week. So I just want to encourage you that this faith journey, men and fathers, uncles, brothers, sons, is not about religion. It's about a new life. It's about living that new life. And you may feel that you're finished, but I want to encourage you that I'm not finished, nor are you. You get to a certain age and we just start to retire, and we just start to spiral down and we become irrelevant. We are just like, well, what was that all about? Then we see our kids and our grandkids enjoy the fruit of our labor. And that's all good. That's all part of life and growing through into the next process. But there are some men in this room, you don't need to retire. You've already retired in your mind and your heart. You need to refire. You need to get up, speak to yourself and say, man, I'm the man. Who the man? You the man. And you the man need to stand up and start living the life, because time's ticking. It's either now or never, right? Not just waiting around, somewhere over the rainbow. What rainbow have you seen? Hey? I don't know, I've never seen a rainbow in Samoa, mate. It's like, rainbow? The only rainbow I saw was a big stick. I said, you better get the job done, otherwise you're going to get this rainbow. And it'd be rainbow! So, listen to me very carefully. Just a few more things and I'm almost done. Can you hang on there? Too bad, I'm going to share it anyway. You got 10 minutes? Good, because if you got 10 minutes, I got 10 minutes. That's 20 minutes, right? No. Not gammon. No. Look, so there will be a time in our lives, men and fathers, in all seriousness, and sons and brothers and uncles, that you'll have to decide that there's no one else that's going to do this for me, but I have to do it. I have to pick myself up, encourage myself in the Lord, as David did, and fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. It's not pulling people down. It's not blaming. And it may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by Him. This is how I fight my battles. Is I know who I am. You need to know who you are. What's been your one word this year? I know we always said in the beginning of the year, have a one word. Maybe you've forgotten it, maybe it's changed. I want you to take a few moments and think about the one word in your life. Now, if that word in your life hasn't matched up to your world so far, for whatever reason, well, guess what? We've got 4 months to get back on track. I know the word for me has been resilience this year and imagination. The word I've been thinking about, I've been thinking about so many other things, so many great things. I've got another plan of what I want to do. You wouldn't believe this. Well, I'm not going to tell you yet. My wife knows. She was like, oh, Jesus. Where's the rainbow? No. I've always been a dreamer. This young Polynesian boy from South Auckland in New Zealand has always been a dreamer. I used to get in trouble from my school teachers at school because I always got a dream. So, sometimes they've worked, a lot of times they haven't. But I keep dreaming because I know who I am. And one day, my family will be lowering my body. I'll be transitioning to heaven, but I can say it as well with my soul that I've done it. Thank you. No, you the man. So I just want to close with this, right? Think about this. I'm going to give you just 10 quick things and we're going to close with communion, okay? Soon. So I want to say this to you. First of all, to every single one of us men that are in this room, and the strengths guys know this, every single one of us, myself included, you're one decision away from stuffing everything up. You're one decision away from committing adultery. You're one decision away from making a bad financial move that you can go into bankruptcy. You're one decision away from breaking the law. And sergeants and senior connies in here will arrest you. You're one decision away from making a bad decision that a relationship goes south. You're one decision away, just one decision. That's all it is. So be very careful how you think about things. Be very careful about how you do things. So here's what I want to leave you with. There are 10 things that you need to remember on Father's Day in 2023. You ready? Okay, that's 2 of you. Should I just leave right now? Are you ready for these 10 things? Fathers, men, husbands, brothers. Hey, you could go spend lots of money on a seminar and listen to a TED talk. I'm giving this to you for free. This is lived experience, and this is thing that I've studied and researched. So are we good? Yes. Good. That's a better response. Okay, here we go. Number 1, failure. I'm speaking to all the men, okay? In fact, can I just get all the men and fathers to come here and line up? Come on. I'm just going to say this to you. Now listen, if you're a son in here, according to the law at the moment, anything 10 and under, there's no criminal responsibility. You can tell that I'm learning a bit of legislation here. So if you're 10 and above, or 11 upwards, you need to be standing here. So come. It's not just, I'm celebrating the fathers, obviously, but I'm celebrating the men, the uncles, the spiritual fathers, the older brothers, the sons, all things male this morning. And I know not everyone's here. That's okay. Well, come up. So, hey, can we just close the gap here? So, Germans. Yeah, and they started a war too. But anyway, no, sorry, no, I'm joking. No, we love you. We forgive. The war is over, Benny. So listen, to all you guys here, I want to say this to you, okay? And then I'm going to pray for you, and then we're going to be done. So there are 10 things that we need to know this morning with the remaining 4 months of this year. Whether you're a husband, a father, an uncle, a stepfather, a spiritual father, a son, a brother. This morning you need to hear these 10 things. And if you put it into practice, even a couple of them, then I promise you, you'll finish strong. Here's number 1. Failure is not a person. It's an event that will come and go. You are not a failure. Failure is an event that will come and it will go. And it will come again and it will go again. You are not defined by your failures. Number 2, your ability is important, but dependability is critical. Your ability, there's lots of skills that I know most of these guys here have amazing skills. But your ability is important and you need to be rewarded for it. But listen to me very carefully. Your dependability is critical. Your families, your friends, your workmates need to know you're dependable. That's gold. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you never turn up, it means nothing. You've got to be dependable. Number 3, the highs of achieving some greats in your life like sports, business, career, academics, money, all the rest of it is great, and you should celebrate that. But they're only momentarily. The highs of being a man and a dad are ongoing. You'll reach some milestones and you'll celebrate that with your study and your achievements, and we celebrate that. But at the end of the day, you as a man and you as a father, you as a son, will be ongoing. Don't focus on the temporary. Focus on the things that will matter. Ongoing as a man, I'm keep on developing myself. I'm going to keep being the man. Number 4, for some of us men in this room here this morning, keep doing the heart journey. Don't brush or minimize those emotions. Be emotional available. It's a lot of work. I'm still working on it. I haven't mastered any of this as well, but I'm trying. I'm just trying to get you to come on the journey with me. Keep doing the heart journey. Don't just be all about provision, provide this, provide that, because those things are temporary. What our families, what our spouses, what our kids need from us, do the heart journey. For some of us, we just need to shut it and actually listen. Number 5, easy one, just keep turning up. Just keep turning up. There's power in turning up. As a husband, as a father, as a man, as an uncle, as a brother, there's power in just turning up. Just turn up to those family barbecues. Just turn up to those family situations that when there's conflict. Just turn up, just turn up, just turn up when your household needs you. Turn up, turn up. I tell you now, you'll break through. Consistency breaks the resistance. When you just keep on being consistent, I tell you now, things will break through. Number 6, love this one, right out of the Handbook of Strengths. You've got what it takes. You've got what it takes to be the man, the husband, the father, the leader, the business person. You've got what it takes to be that man that God designed you to be. Number 7, your life matters. Yes, your family lives matter, your spouse, your children, your extended family. They all matter, absolutely. But listen to me very carefully. Your life matters too. Your life really does. When you're not here, whether you believe this or not, whether you like it or not, someone's going to miss you when you're not here. Someone will always miss you. Number 8, and I've got 2 more. There is someone that will always believe in you. Whether it's auntie in some other country, whether it's been an old school teacher that said good words to you, whether it's your dad, your mum, whether it's been a pastor, a leader, a fellow colleague, someone in your past life, someone right now, there will always be someone that will believe in you. We all need someone to believe in us as men and as fathers and as brothers and as uncles and as sons. Number 9, I love this one. Your story isn't over. You get to write your chapter on how this ends. You get to write on how the next 4 months what it would look like for you. Judah, Aaron, Bernie, and so on. You get to decide on how this journey ends. Now you might say, man, it's been a rough journey, and I hear you, and I feel you. But at the end of the day, your life is not over. You get to write how the story ends. Don't blame, don't minimize. Right? The battle's over. The war is over. Now, I've got to believe in him we live and move and have our being. It's what I know and him, what God's called me to be. And the last one is this. Now it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm just waiting for people to pull me out all the time. We need help. Yes, we will help pull people out of stuff. Support is really, really important. But the biggest challenge that every single man, including the guys that are here in this line here, and I know like not all our fathers and husbands at the Rock Church and men are here this morning, but the biggest challenge, and I keep saying it because all the research shows it, the biggest challenge every single one of us face is actually loneliness. You can be in a family, you can have lots of brothers and lots of friends, but you can still be lonely as a man. That I really can't be myself, so I have to act. And some of us are great actors. And we'll act our way through just to get through. And that's why the Pretenders sang a great song called, "Oh yes, I'm the great pretender." And because we pretend all the time. And I should be right, mate. No, she's never been right for years. She hasn't been right for years. I know it's an Aussie slang. And great. But here's the thing. She's never been right. She's not right now. She hasn't been right for years. She hasn't been right for decades. But it's up to us. This is how you become the man. If you just put those 10 things in place, it'll be a blessing. Can we just serve the communion?
It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you.
I'm going to pray for you guys soon, and then we're going to close.
Like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you.
Just for those on the recording, we just want to say, hey, God bless you. Hope you watch this again. And watch it until you get into your spirit. Know that we love you until for next week. Happy Father's Day and Happy Man's Day to bless all the men as well. In Jesus' name. Amen.